I have made it no secret on this channel of my feelings about Norwegian Cruise Line, their business practices, and their former CEO, Frank Del Rio. And today we're going to take a look inside Frank's $16 million Florida vacay home to show you what NCL's theft of money can buy Frank. Plus, remember the holiday in November. One cruise port rings warning bells ahead of dozens of cruises on this massive travel weekend. Let's roll the intro. Hey, welcome to the Midships channel. It's your Captain Corey. Thank you so much for stopping by the channel today. I'm sorry, I've been a little bit distant the last couple of days, I'm sure you can hear. But today is the first day I can talk a little bit. Let's start things off with the question of the day. Are you planning on celebrating Thanksgiving at home, somebody else's house, or what's Thanksgiving? Let me know your answer in the comments down below. Now, let's talk about my current least favorite cruise line I've ever sailed upon. Sorry if you don't feel this way, but long story short, Norwegian Cruise Line stole almost $400 from me in January this year during the Blogger Extravaganza cruise when one of their internet help desk individuals took my phone away from me and charged my cabin for 7 days of their most premium Wi-Fi service without notifying me that he was doing that. To which I went directly to the guest services desk the very next day and politely asked to have them removed because I didn't ask for that. And I ended up spending the last 5 days of that cruise arguing with guest services to no avail. I probably honestly should have just glued myself to the ship like a protest or something. Maybe that would have worked. So obviously this level of greed, it has to come from somewhere, and I think we all know where. The very top. In June of this year, former CEO Frank Del Rio retired from his position at Norwegian Cruise Line, and now the former cruise magnate is looking to take more cruises, just like you and me, right? His everyday guy. So what's he gonna do? Well, of course, he's gonna sell his $16 million Vero beach home in Florida. Oh yeah, I got the pictures. Let's take a quick look inside of Frank Del Rio's home. This house is about 75 miles north of Palm Beach. And remember, this is not even his primary home in Florida. That is about 80 miles south of this particular house. Now, Del Rio purchased this quaint beachside residence in 2015 for a mere $2.46 million. Built in 1997, the home sits on just over half of an acre and spans around 6,000 square feet. Frank said he remodeled the house to bear similarities to Norwegian Cruise Line ships, going so far as to say that if you walk in his house, you might think you walked into one of his cruise ships. In addition to the Del Rio family's 2 Florida-based homes, they also have residences in Colorado and New York. So there you go. I guess that is a perfect way to spend your ill-gotten gains, Frank Del Rio. I hope you enjoyed my stolen $400 when you installed one of your golden toilets. And speaking of ways to spend your money, well, if you want to help out a small independent creator like myself, who's not going to gouge you on prices, a great way to do it is by just browsing in the Midships Amazon store. In there, you can find everything I take with me on every single cruise. And I've started to notice a bunch of them are on Black Friday deals, so you might want to look in there again if you've looked before. I don't control those prices. They're just products that I personally have bought with my own money, and I would endorse for you to do the same. Check it out. There's a link in the description down below this video. Remember, the 23rd of November, chaos and cruises and holiday travel.
Remember the 5th of November.
That's the best V for Vendetta I could do for y'all V for Vendetta fans. Port Everglades has issued a warning to cruise guests traveling this weekend for the Thanksgiving holiday into early December that you're going to be met with heavy traffic delays, and you should consider making your transportation arrangements to and from the port ahead of time and not relying on services like Uber, Lyft, ride shares, those kind of things, or even being able to find a parking spot. All said, through one of the busiest travel times of the year, 35 cruise ships will come and go from Port Everglades between November 20th and December 1st. And some of these days will see at least 5 cruise ships in port. And as a person who's personally seen what 5 cruise ships do to Port Everglades, I can tell you, you're likely to wait for an hour for an Uber and an hour to get out or into the cruise port. This is going to be all the major cruise ports, not just Port Everglades. My recommendation is to get to the nearest airport somehow and purchase cruise line transportation. That's going to be the easiest. If you made it this far into today's episode, well, why don't you consider subscribing here to the Midships channel and leave a thumbs up on this video. Thank you so much for stopping by the channel today. And until next time, We'll see ya on the midships.